Hello and welcome to this medium Windows machine. I'd say just a medium. It has some difficult aspects to it and some new attacks which I haven't used before. One is going over SMB and actually sort of querying its the RD so you can actually find usernames. I've never worked with it before, but it was quite a cool attack. And you can just use the username with the same username as its password and try to log in. If you can do that, you can log into the MySQL server, so just to trial and error and see where you can log in. Then you can use Expert Directory to see its files. And if you've got that, you can actually download a file. And in that file, there's going to be a username. And from that point on, it's pretty straightforward because there's some specific attack, but you just have to find which one you have to use. First of all, there's a lot of ports open. It's a complete system service thing, so to say. So we have DNS and we have the website, Kerberos, RPC, NetBIOS, LDAP, and then there's also going to be SMB, which is the most interesting one. I'm just going to go over SMB directly. So we have SMB client with a no authentication, and you can see we can just authenticate quite fine. But the thing we had to do was, I've never worked with this before, but you're not going to find anything. But what this does, it just filters the users based on the RID values, which I think is really cool. So if you look at this, you can just find these users. And I've never worked with this thing before, but I think it's really awesome. I prepared a awk statement, so we're filtering for the slash. We're just going to filter after this. And then we're only looking for the exact match of SID type user, so we don't want alias or whatever. So you see we're left with this. I'm just going to save this, but I don't want to save it yet because we don't care about this one. We only care about like what is in front of this one. So I'll just do a sed. And then we're going to just do, this is going to be the set, and this will be the pattern. So we're just looking for SID type user. And this is going to be the pattern, and then this is the one you want to replace it with, which is nothing. So it should be this, nice. And we can write this to users.txt, I believe, cat users.txt. And there we go. So we have the users. That was quite straightforward. Then we can just use crack map exec, and you can actually do, if you don't know what to do, you can just always press help. Then we see we have SMB, which is the one we want to use. So we're just going to do SMB help. And then it's going to say on top what your options are. So I'm seeing usage SMB, and you have hosts, ID, credits, and username, password. There's a couple of things we need to set. So one thing you always want to do is going to be the IP address. So I'm just going to do 10.10.11.236, I believe it is. And then we're just going to do the user, which is going to be users.txt, and then the password is also going to be users.txt. Now what I want to do here is no brute force. What I'll do now is if I go over this list, it's going to try administrator, and it's not going to try administrator guest, administrator care BTG, Zong, Chang, Drine, Raven. It's not going to try that. It's just going to do administrator guest. So that's basically the thing that it's going to do. I do realize that I have made a mistake because you have to change these to lowercase. You could do it instead, but I just know it with Vim, so I'm just going to do it with Vim. So what I'll do is I'll just select everything with Shift V. So you're in visual mode, and I'm going to select everything, which is Shift G, and then use underline, I believe. So we're just going to do that. And now if I run this, it should find the match, and we can actually just log in as that user. So we see operator. If I'm now going to use Impacket MS SQL client, we should be able to log in with the manager, which is going to be the host name. And then we have the operator, which is going to be our username. Then with the password, it's going to be operator at manager.hackthebox. And then we have Windows off, I believe it is. And there you can see you can actually get into the system quite easily. Of course, this is quite straightforward. You would not be able to find it as quickly because you have to go through these and, for example, through users. It's going to be in a pub. That's where most of the time where the files for web servers will be launched. So if I just do an xp3 /innet pub, we'll see we have temp, cluster, history, logs, and root. I'm interested in root to see if, this is the root file. And there we actually see some files. So I'm just going to copy this. I don't need this anymore. And I'm just going to go into, actually I'm going to create it. I'm creating a website. All right, that's fine as well. Just go into web. I wanted to create a website. And then I'm just going to do a wget on this one. And you have to add its IP address. So it's going to be http://10.10.11.236. So this is going to not download. Like this is downloading. Nice. And then we're just going to unzip the website. And It's doing, yeah. So inside of this, you won't find anything, but if you look at all the files, so with lsla, so to list all files, we can always see an old conf. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cat it, and inside of here, you will find the password for the user. This was quite easy. If you want to find the flag, you can just use eval winrm. I believe it's here, almost winrm, and then we have I, which 10.10.11.236, and then the username is gonna be Raven, and the password score is gonna be this one. I might need to, what? Why did it add this? Why did it add the, what? I don't know what it did. I don't know what I pressed. I'm just gonna add it inside the quotation marks just to be sure. There we go. So this is the way you can find it. So if I just go to desktop /cd desktop dir, and then type user.txt, this is how you can find user flag. You're not going to find anything on the system, so it doesn't really matter for us. The way you have to do it now is if we run certify AD, and it's going to be find with the user Raven, and then we have the, Raven with the password of this one, and I have not copied it correctly. I'll just do this one. No, I forgot an R, like this. And then you can do DCIP of 10.10.11.236. And then we can find the standard output and find vulnerabilities, which is pretty cool. So what it's going to find, it's going to say it's ESC7. If you look it up, you'll find some examples. I just chose Windows exploit, but this one you first have to notify if it's actually vulnerable, and if it is, we're just going to add a new officer to the certificate authority. And this certificate authority on his sort of methods can actually create templates, and we can request this template, or like a certificate for the template, to sort of, I guess, get this administrator.pfx thing, and you can have its hash for some reason. So the certificate, if you have it, you can actually ask the hash of the administrator, which seems weird, but I'm just gonna go over it. So the way I've set it up is on my left, I've got the nodes. So I'm just gonna try and sort of work it out, because when I was doing it not quick enough, it's just gonna error out. So first of all, we want to sort of create this officer. If we've created this, we want to add a template. I'll go over how to list one later, but we're just going to add one, and sub-CA is one of the default ones. There's going to be more, but this is one of the easy ones. And now we can see the enable certificates under the list templates flag. So I'll just show it here like this. So you can see here, we have sub-CA as well, which is enabled, which is good, because that's the one we want to see, right? And now we can actually request a certificate based on the sub-CA. So if we go here and try to run it, we can see we should get a private key. Failed to request certificate. I'm not sure if that's a problem. I'm just going to continue because we got 20 as a request ID. I tried it before. We're just going to run it with 20. So I have to change these nodes, but that's completely fine. So we're just going to go here, and then I have to change this one to 20. And I have to run it. And I think it's automatically going to choose this 20 thing. If we've done this, we can actually use almost the same command, but instead of requesting it, we're gonna, I believe it's gonna retrieve 20 unrecognized. I think it's access praise. Unrecognized. Why? Why is it wrong? Oh, sorry, I have to do a request here. A request as this user. And now we actually have this administrator PFX, right? So if you have this thing, you can actually ask the hash. So certify AD, we're going to do authentication, and we're going to do the PFX as administrator.pfx. And you should get a hex. Wait, what is this? I misspelled. That's my bad. And you should get a hash of the user. So we're just not trying to get a ticket granting ticket. We can try to authenticate. Let's see if we get it. So we can try to run this. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, because clock skew too great. If you want to fix it, it's going to be sudo ntp date. I don't have it. Seriously, I don't have it installed. I don't have it installed. Can I? Oh my god. It's one of the tools you can use to sort of fix your clock skew. I thought I would have it installed. All right. It's going to be quick here. So we're just going to update it. And now if we run the command, it should sort of force us to get the hash. Why it's doing this is because it's checking what kind of time zone you're on. And if it's too wrong, sort of, yeah, of course you're gonna have issues with it. So I'm just gonna save it in case I need it again. And now we can actually use evil WinRM. It's gonna be the same. The only thing we want to change is, of course, this one is gonna be administrator. And then the password is not gonna be password. It's gonna be hash, of course. And you can provide it in full text, or you can just do it as the thing. Why is it invalid hash format? I think it might be only the latter part, maybe. Yeah, there we go. So if we now to go to its desktop, we can see its flag here. And it seemed like quite an easy box if you think about it this way. But honestly, if we go over the attack, I would not have found this myself, because you have to issue the certificate. And there's so many options you can do in the box, and I'm not sure how they managed to figure out that quick. Because there's people who do it in, what, like 20 minutes? 21 minutes for user, and then of course 43 for system, which is really quite quick. This guy's probably some level rank 1. Okay. No, okay, I know. Okay, it's okay. But that was it for the box pretty much. So thank you guys.